Some general safety tips for preparing meals during the holidays are to try to help prevent foodborne illness. You can do this by following 4 simple steps: clean, separate, cook, and chill. Clean means to clean your utensils and wash your hands thoroughly before using your hands to touch any food or any kind of utensils for touching your food. To separate means to separate your raw food from your ready-to-eat food. So your ready-to-eat food includes anything like bread, lettuce, tomatoes, lunch meat, things that are already cooked and prepared and ready to serve. So you can do that in the refrigerator, in the freezer, in the pantry, anywhere where you store your food. You have to separate the raw food from the ready-to-eat food. Cook means to cook your food to 165 degrees for poultry or chicken or turkey, but then also any other types of food to make sure you thoroughly cook it so that you kill any pathogens that might be growing inside the food. And you have to use a thermometer, a probe thermometer, to test that temperature so that you know that it's a safe temperature. And chill means to put the food back into the refrigerator within a couple hours of having it out. So you want to make sure that you are preventing foodborne illness and that you keep the food out of the temperature danger zone. So the temperature danger zone is the range of temperature between 41 degrees Fahrenheit and 135 degrees Fahrenheit. If you can keep the food out of the danger zone, then you can help prevent bacterial growth that could lead to making you sick. Some general safety tips to thaw food is to use one of the 4 acceptable methods for thawing. The first method is at 41 degrees Fahrenheit or less, so that would be in the refrigerator. So if you have a large turkey of 21 pounds, it could take you up to 6 days or so to thaw that turkey. Another way to thaw food is to do it under running water. As long as that water is around 70 degrees Fahrenheit and it's constantly flowing, you can do it in the sink under running water. Another way is in a microwave, as long as you thoroughly heat up the entire part of the food. Sometimes microwaves tend to have hot spots and cold spots, so if you can heat up the entire thing without cooking it, then that's an acceptable way to thaw. And then another acceptable way to thaw is as part of the cooking process. So you go straight from the frozen state to the cooking state. So like if you're cooking brats on the grill, you can throw them right on the grill from a frozen state and cook them all the way through. And then other types of foods, you could do that as well. When transporting food for the holidays, it's important to remember to keep your food at 41 degrees Fahrenheit or 135 degrees Fahrenheit. You don't want to keep it in that middle zone because that's called the temperature danger zone. The temperature danger zone is where pathogens grow the fastest and where foodborne illness is more likely to take place. So when you transport your food for the holidays, make sure that you're keeping it hot or you're keeping it cold. And then once you get to your event, when everyone's done eating and you have all this leftover food, don't leave it sitting out on the table because that could potentially grow some pathogens and cause a foodborne illness. So what you can do is put that back into the refrigerator, get the temperature to drop. If you're unable to do that or you want to leave it out on the counter for a while, that's okay, as long as you don't leave it out more than 4 hours. Once you hit that 4-hour time mark, you need to throw the food away because you could cause an illness. So let's talk leftovers. When you have a lot of leftovers, how long are they good for? How long can you leave them in the refrigerator? A good rule of thumb is 7 days. You have up to 7 days to discard that food item. If you go over that 7 days, you're more likely to cause a foodborne illness. 7 days is what we tell the restaurants. That's how long they have to do it. So it's a good idea. If it's a good idea for the pros, it's a good idea for us to do at home as well. Now that's for safety. There are also concerns of quality, which are a completely different category. If you're talking about quality, you typically want to eat that food within 2 or 3 days before the quality starts to plummet. When you pull them out of the refrigerator and you want to go to reheat them, you want to make sure that you heat the food back up to 165 degrees to kill off any pathogens that might have grown over the past few days. If you do have food in the refrigerator that you know you're not going to be able to get through within the 7 days, you could always take that food and freeze it. Freezing it won't completely kill any bacterial growth, but it will slow it down so that you can go back in and thaw that product and eat it at a later date.